have a personal philosophy that I go by. God first, every other thing is in data. And what I want to say is, in this new era of AI, this is just for we practitioners. And if you Google my name, one of the things that you will see there, it will tell you that I'm the daughter of the president. That's actually fake. I don't know who fed that AI with that, but these are things that we need to be consciously aware of. Whatever it is that we are feeding from the internet, there should still be a need to actually verify. If I, who is the daughter of someone from Ekiti, and you are saying I'm the daughter of the president, simply because you think my name or because there are other things that have popped in, there was never a time that I released anything that has to do with the president. So I'm very, very much concerned about how did you link me and someone that has never seen me before. So that tells you the era of fake news and how things can actually travel. But then again, also for the journalists, the media, Nigeria is very volatile presently. The tempo is really, really high. And I think the media are doing more harm than what they are supposed to do. The journalists that we have this day, when we were doing mass communication, we're looking up to a lot of fantastic journalists. But the journalists, they put their emotions into stories. You are talking about the president of a country, you are saying you're president. Who does that? Where are the ethics in this profession? For comes for PR, yes, we are scaling beyond visibility and all of that. But then again, who are the people checkmating the practitioners? Where are the ethics? I love the rank, I love data a lot. But beyond the data, what else are we bringing to tables as PR and comms specialists? These are my questions to everyone.
Thank you very much. First of all, are you 200% sure that you are not related to the president? 200% sure. Because if we check, and you know our president is a fantastic president. Are you 200% sure? Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, on a lighter note. So the first question around AI, yes, fake news, there has been an increase in fake news, deep fakes, and a lot of things as a result of AI. But you can actually submit, you just have to identify what's the primary platform from which that particular information about you is emanating for, and you can submit documents that show that the news is false, and you can get it taken down. There are ways to get things taken down across multiple platforms. So, and then you can even check, you can ask ChatGPT, you can ask Claude to find the singular piece of information that is associating you as family of the president, and to find the platform, and you can support counter documents. That's one of the things I did during the last election was I worked with a team that was focused on countering fake news. And we pulled journalists from BBC, from CNN and different platforms, and we were always creating fact-checking and putting out content as much as we can. Now, as someone that has sat on the two sides of the divide, I have worked as a PR person and as well as a journalist. The truth is that as PR people, a lot of times we do things that we shouldn't do in defending our brands. So I put out information as well that was less than factual because I needed to defend my brand. So this ethics conversation is a very, very serious conversation. And like a lot of other industries in Nigeria, there needs to be a rise in ethical leadership. And I feel like NIPR can do like a lot more in terms of driving this. There needs to be a rise, there needs to be clearer guidelines around a lot of things in order to inform. Globally as well, there needs to be a rise. And that's the problem. I do not think that things are going to get better. I want to be honest with you. One of the biggest purveyors of fake news today is the President of the United States of America. He has a massive platform. He puts out the fakest things. We saw a media aide to the Nigerian president put out something 2 days ago for those in tech media around one of the big fintech brands, and that was false. So there's always that rush to be the first person to report as well that leads people to. So we just have to keep doing the best that we can in terms of building audiences, in terms of building credibility, while we also push for policy changes that lead to more ethical journalism. So if you're in the room and then you play in that space where you can push for greater ethical journalism, please help us as we continue to try to achieve this. I don't know whether any of the panelists has something to say. Okay.
You remember during my address, I said something about how years ago we, as journalists, as editors, we lost relevance in some way. It started looking like, oh, the gatekeepers were being relegated to the influencers were taking over. But you see, this is the good news. Like I said, what happened then, looking like journalism was dying, and influencer ecosystem was taking over, is being reversed now. AI is actually taking the power back to the gatekeepers, if we choose to see it that way. So I like your response, fantastic, and that is where gatekeeping comes. Now we know that the fakes we thought were not fake enough are now so fake that in our faces. Back like 3, 4, 5 years ago, you could argue it's not true. It's true, Jerry. But now we can tell. Once you see it's AI, you begin to doubt. So that means the power is coming back to humans to take over the narrative. So, madam, and to everybody in the room, the power is back in our hands. The bad news is that it's only those of us who know the job that can survive. Thank you.
Amazing. That was a great answer. Do we feel like it's been done justice? Okay, let's go to another question.
I would like to direct my question to Olufemi Ajasa. Okay, so with the record of decline in readership, okay, so how can media organization, how can they in a way, bring about visibility? How can they promote readership? And also, how can they build loyalty among their audience? And also, how can they retain it? Not just building it, but to also retain it. Thank you.
This one is hard.
Loaded question. Loaded.
Yes,
They want you to give out your secret sauce.
The reason why it's hard is I don't think there is a decline in readership. So I always feel people are fixated on newspapers, and I get calls. Like as we speak, several graduates in Nigeria are calling me on their research papers, talking about decline in readership, of course tied to newspapers. And my experience is borderless. I have partners in different countries that I'm speaking to because I have trust, because I lead a market. There are several brands who are coming in, they want to partner, they want to do business, So readership as it is today, I prefer it to the one that appears huge, but it's just national, So there is no decline in my own readership, yes.
I think there's still room to answer the question though, yes, around audience retention as well as innovation, because you talked about how Vanguard has become a bit more innovative. So I think there's still room to also still give some additional points here.
Okay, so what we do is just look at the drivers. What are customers' expectations? Yes, format plays that critical role. So like format has changed from paper to digital, but it also doesn't stop there. You do shorts. So when we do videos, you also plan these videos for different formats. The ones that is going for TikTok, going for Instagram. Then you also do not stop there. Podcast is in. You also need to join that community. So expectations from the consumers, you focus on it. The market, which is your competition, you also focus on that. That's a huge driver. Then technological changes, you have to adapt. Algorithms are changing, these are changing. You also focus on that, and these are all the parameters you look at. You don't just do good stories, and just sit down there. You look at the market, you continue to innovate to meet your readers where they are. So it talked about newsletters. So what the newsletter does, it serves that personalization purpose. A fragmented market where people don't even know where to read the news. So if you don't get it, what is happening is, as around 2013, 14, 15, Linda Ikeji, Vanguard, the likes, what people do, they do www.vanguard to go read news. But today, news is served to meet you at your own point. So I think that's
Fantastic. That's a great answer. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Let's appreciate expert analysis. Yeah, Mr. Rashid, go ahead.
Just as he mentioned, if you look at all the mainstream media that moved online, they've been able to embed a whole lot of visuals, even within the news. Short videos, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, because they've realized, based on the feedback they've gotten, that their attention span, many people don't want to read text anymore. You just want to see the video. So they go on the street, they ask people about their opinion. Vox Pop, what do you think about the president sacking Edun and the minister for works? Do you understand? So that gives them another fillip for people to follow through. Almost everything that people need to read about news or listen to news or consume news, these new mainstream guys are doing it, on the new media platform. And that is one of the innovation through which they are building their readers, readership base.
Fantastic.
This question is directed to Muyiwa and Femi. At the other question, Femi said we should meet our audience where they are. For example, when we publish articles and you put the link there, a lot of people don't go to the website to go and read these articles. They just probably read the caption you added to it. But then if people are just engaging on the post on my Instagram or LinkedIn, that means I'm not getting traffic on my website. I think that will be affecting my SEO or my ranking, right? How can we find a way to get more people to our website? Because when we have more people on our website, then maybe we can appear on ranked. Also, for a new media platform, how do you try to monetize and probably grow your social media platforms also? Because when clients come and they see you don't have a lot of followers, they don't take you serious. They will believe you are not going to convert for them. So how do you monetize? How do you try to grow your socials?
So I'll start it by saying we're asking the wrong questions, and I'm very happy that I'm in a room full of PR people, because people are part of the problem. I'm sorry. Okay, sometimes, I've had honest conversations with PR people, and sometimes they say it's the client that is the wala. So you're trying to do what the client wants. You try to educate the client doesn't care. You try to tell the client that traffic is not the only thing that matters. They don't want to hear, so you do what they want, right? Maybe some of us are lucky to have clients who listen to us and trust us, because we're asking the wrong questions. And let me share a personal story, because me too, I used to be like, no, everything must be on the website. The traffic, the SEO, right? And one day, about 2 years ago, someone called me. It was Ifani's namesake. His name is Ifani too. So, early days of Tech Point, he used to contribute to us, once in a while. So the guy is a fan, long-term fan. And one day he just called me randomly, I want to talk to you. Okay. And I was offended with the call, because what he said is that, please, is Tech Point dead? I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm on Instagram. I don't see people there. Is it dead? I was like, we publish on the website every day. Say, I don't really check websites anymore these days. It's Instagram I check. Is it dead? Because we're not posting there. I was like, I was shocked. To him, as long as it's not on Instagram, you don't exist. You don't exist. So different people have different platforms where they consume. And the problem is, yes, the website is our own platform. We want to be able to own it. We want to be able to appear on rank, like you said, and show that to advertisers, right? Meanwhile, like we have said now, it was said during the keynote and in the reports, the currency now is credibility and trust. Do they know you? Where can you meet them? We have WhatsApp community. We have newsletter. We have podcasts. We have Instagram. We have LinkedIn. I think it's TikTok we don't have right now, because that one is just another different. But in doing that, one thing I always tell my own team, because I let them, the person running our social media is Gen Z, just do your thing. That's what I always tell her. But in doing that, I still want my own audience. I still want my first party data. So we're very smart with how we do it. So for example, the person who writes the newsletter sometimes shares the news on social media, but then says, if you want a roundup of the news every morning, I write a newsletter, so put the link there. People will subscribe, right? We have our research and data arm called Intel Points. We do reports across all the industries we cover. That's a way of actually gathering first-party data. So when we are appearing on social media, you are seeing us regularly. Then one day we release reports that we have report to. Is a report on the finance industry. You put your email for us, we have you, right? We have these things we call educational email courses where we take we look at the segment of our audience. So one segment of our audience is early stage startups who are trying to figure out how to raise money, how to talk to investors. And we created an email course. The course is based on email. It's delivered via email that will teach you how to do that. We promote it. You give us your email, you have entered our community, right? Every month we host what we call Pitch Friday. They come there, they come and listen to people who have done it before them, tell them how to do everything. And it's every month, some people don't miss it. We've been doing this since 2018, so people have not missed one. So we are spreading those tentacles. And that's why I said we are gradually taking, it's hard, again, because I blame you people that are here. But it's hard. But we are gradually taking the conversation away from traffic. And saying, we have podcasts, we have this one, we have this one. How can we start to aggregate it and show that we have the trust and the credibility? So it's harder, honestly, because traffic is just the easiest. It's very easy. Oh, what's your traffic? It's very easy, no doubts. But if all of us together agree that we want to start, and we agree to educate our clients, the audience, that it's not just about traffic. We win the war. We win against Google, against Twitter, against Facebook, against all of them. So it's a collective effort. We can't do it alone. Yes.
I mean, do you have anything to add? He mentioned you as well. He answered everything. Okay, fantastic. So the final question.
I'd like to thank the panel for such an enriching discussion. My big brother RB, wealth of experience. I greet you specially. I hear a lot of talk about regulation, about professionalism, about experience. No other person could speak better about it than RB, who has led several organizations on campaigns of how we can continue to maintain ethics in the business. So my first comment, I have a comment and a question. My comment is, with the addiction for views, I like what you have also said when you are on building it the hard way. But we find a lot of professional media houses these days coining rage bait headlines, and then the story takes a different, the headline doesn't eventually then match the story. You then now start to see, I don't want to call any of the big names, but you see some of them now started to behave like the blogs, like the gossip mills and Insta blogs. All due respect to them and their following, but for professionalism, because we cannot adopt social media as the news. The news still has a process it goes through. There's investigation, there's fact checking, there's reporting from the three sides, my side, your side, and the truth. And that has to be maintained. My question here now is, we cannot separate sales from marketing. So I'm lucky to have been on the brand and marketing side in the professional environment and also as a business person. And then I also then have a small, medium enterprise business as well, which requires a lot of marketing. So as marketing has shaped sales over time, we can't do without each other. How can we use the media to also shape organizational behavior? Societal behavior. Because we see that negative stories seem to kind of sell quicker, faster. How do we start to do storytelling of young, successful people who are doing well in different fields? The problem in most of these guys is that they don't have the fund to pay your media houses. They may not be able to have a spare 200, 100 or 300,000 to do a special editorial on tech points, but he's building something fantastic. We have a lot of stories from what the banks are doing in universities, the hackathons, all the different things that they are doing. How do we capture these stories even for free and tell their stories? Because we need to inspire the next generation. And we cannot allow the other side of media start to shape how people behave. I mean, a lot of people today don't even know how the government operates. People don't even know the acronyms of government. So I feel the media has a lot more responsibility, just like what the Tinubu's adopted daughter said, that we need to we need to do more in that regard. But other than that, thank you so much for the rich discussions.
We can only do what we already do and encourage others to do. I mean, we do it, like I mentioned earlier, we have a community called Pitch Friday, where all those startups that are just coming up that don't have the money, or they come, first of all, we help teach them, show them, the way, bring people who have been there, done that, to inspire them. They then pitch, and some of them end up getting featured on our publication. We have, I don't like saying it in the room of PR people, but we have free channels where people can, feature startups. There's just a link, you just fill the form. Once our writers like it, but just like if they don't like it, they'll tell you they don't like it.
Bring more of them.
Yeah. They'll just tell you they don't like it.
Bring more people to
I'll share the link. But you have to think through your pitch. If they don't like it, they'll tell you they don't like it. They'll give you the feedback. That's all. But they do it at their own time, which is, it can take 2 weeks, it can take 3 weeks, because there's a list of people. So if more and more people do that, I think.
promise us.
I can't promise. News is serious. It has to be news. So for instance, if a 13-year-old writes a book, to me, that's news. I want to publish that. If you are 45-year-old, you are publishing a book, I think you should be able to do business. If 45-year-old unveils app, and that app means that all Nigerians will not buy fuel again, that's news. I'll take that and publish immediately. But if they need to download the app, pay some amount and all that, I think that's business. So we understand where the lines cross,
Amazing. Thank you very much. I think we tried as much as possible to cover as much ground as possible. Forgive us for the extra time we took as well. As the moderator, I can take your beating. But thank you once again to our panelists. Thank you for answering all the questions. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you.